Let's take a brief look at the Big Bank DLC. This was the second paid heist DLC available for Payday 2, and it was a huge hit upon release. Let's start off with talking about the heist itself, the Big Bank. This is the first heist in the storyline of the dentist, who, as most of you probably know, is played by Giancarlo Esposito, Gus from Breaking Bad. Anyways, the dentist wants the Payday gang to prove their competence to him by pulling a heist at the Benevolent Bank, which has historically been untouchable. So does the Big Bank heist live up to that legacy? Well, let's take a look. This is the heist that introduced pre-planning to the game, and it makes great use of it. There are 3 different ways to crack the vault in this bank. In Stealth, you use a thumbprint scanner and security codes, and in Loud, you can either melt into the vault from the floor above, or use a giant drill known as the Beast. There are also 4 different escape plans. The default version is a helicopter pickup, or a van if the alarm has yet to sound. You could also use C4 tunneling to escape to a dump truck parked across the street, the elevator trick which lets you escape down an elevator shaft to safety, or finally, the bus escape. I'll touch on the specifics of all the different vault cracking and escape plans in a bit, but first let's talk about the run of the heist, in both Stealth and Loud. Be aware that no matter how you're tackling this heist, unless you're playing solo, you're going to need a good amount of teamwork to earn your payday. Starting off with Loud, you and your crew must force your way past a time lock gate to gain access to the vault hallways. This is done by hacking into a computer that has the code you need. The only problem is that there are a lot of potential computers that it could be. The only way to find out which computer is correct is to have someone ping the computer in the server room. This will briefly display a message and play a sound on the computer that you must use. With a little cooperation, you can find the required PC pretty swiftly, but if you're in a pub of players that aren't talking to each other or taking it solo, you'll just have to keep trying until you find the correct one. Now, if you're using the default vault cracking method, the Beast, while everything with the time lock is happening, you can have another player head up to the roof and zipline to the crane. After the crane is moved into position, you drop a piggy bank named Floyd, which is full of drill parts, down through the skylight, killing any unsuspecting cops below. If you're using thermite, this portion is entirely skipped. After busting through the time lock, you now set up your preferred method of vault cracking. So now I'll talk about their pros and cons. The Beast doesn't cost any favors in pre-planning, but it requires a player to operate the crane, which leaves them vulnerable to snipers and not in any position to help their team out. You also have to carry some fairly heavy bags all the way across the map in order to set it up. On top of this, anytime breaks, you have to use bits from a repair kit at the beginning of the map to fix it. The other method is thermite, which doesn't require anyone to operate the crane, any bag carrying, and never breaks. However, not only is it slower at vault busting than but it costs 8 favors, which means you're only left with 2, meaning you're forced to use the default escape. It's pretty clear why most players prefer using After you open the door to the vault, you'll find that it's brimming with loot. You'll likely want to bring a saw for this heist, as there are gates that lock away all the valuables, and plenty of deposit boxes. After clearing the vault out, you take your bags to your escape of choice. The default escape is a helicopter on the roof, which requires you to bring the bags all the way back to the first half of the map and expose yourself to sniper fire. It's not ideal, but hey, it's free. The other 3 escapes cost 6 favors each. C4 tunneling, while much closer to the vault than the default escape is infested with infinitely respawning snipers. Also, the zipline only takes 1 bag at a time, so with 20 some odd potential bags, you'll be here for a while. The bus escape is absolutely the way to go in Loud. There are no snipers to worry about. In fact, there aren't any cops at all that spawn near the van. And, like C4 tunneling, it's much closer to the vault than the default escape is. The elevator escape isn't really that bad, but it works better in Stealth than Loud. Speaking of which, the Stealth version of this heist plays out a bit differently. You still have to find the right PC to open the time lock, but you don't have to operate the crane at all, even without purchasing thermite. Be very careful. In Stealth, the time lock has lasers guarding it. You can use 1 keycard to turn off half of them, or 2 to disable them altogether. You're not required to do this to slip past, but it does help. Once in the vault area, you use a severed thumb, a few buttons, and a PC to open up the vault without anyone noticing. While the guards don't seem to care about the only thing they need to protect being breached is beyond me, but it works in our favor, so why complain? After you're inside, you can either use keys, found elsewhere on the map, or silenced drills or a silenced saw to open up the vault gates quietly. If you want to keep things sneaky, you'll either be using the default escape, which is simply a van parked outside the bank's garage, or the elevator trick. You'll probably want to purchase the elevator escape, as it's located much closer to the vault and doesn't require you to backtrack through as many guards or cameras. If all goes well, you've just robbed the most unrobbable bank in history. Okay, so the heist is really good, but how does the rest of the content fare? The masks are of presidents that can be found on American paper money. They're stylized pretty interestingly, but obviously it's up to you whether you like them or not. Finally, let's take a look at the only weapon this pack contains, the Falcon. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I thought for the longest time that this rifle was terrible. As it turns out, I couldn't have been more wrong. This gun is absolutely excellent. It works best as a DMR kept in single fire mode, and only swap to auto fire for bulldozer cleanup. The damage, mag size, ammo pickup rate, accuracy, stability, fire rate, reload speed, God, this rifle is good. Is there any downside? The mods. Now, there's nothing wrong with them inherently, it's the way that you have to unlock them that's a problem. They're all unlocked through achievements that are tied to the Big Bank heist. Now, don't get me wrong, all of these achievements are very doable and some of them are even pretty easy. Things like beat the heist in stealth, hack the right computer on the first try, secure at least 16 bags, let Floyd the Pig crush his enemies, etc. The thing is, some of these achievements take a really long time to do. One of them involves taking a special civilian, Bobblehead Bob, who doesn't spawn until several minutes in the heist, all the way from the beginning of the map into the vault interior. Another one asks you to beat the heist in under 12 minutes, which requires a very coordinated team and a lot of practice. And the most obnoxious one is Entrapment. You have to complete the heist in stealth using the default van escape, securing at least 12 bags without turning off the lasers at the time lock. This not only takes a long time, but honestly can be pretty difficult, especially considering your only reward is a single weapon mod. However, if you're willing to spend the time and effort to unlock its mods, the Falcon will deliver as a great weapon for armor builds, dodge builds, and hell, even stealth builds if you bring a very compact secondary like a fully modded Bronco. Basically, even if the mods are tedious to unlock, this is a fantastic weapon. I'm sorry I wrote you off as terrible, Falcon. Can you forgive me?
Yes!
Thank you. Okay, so after seeing what it has to offer, would I recommend the Big Bank DLC? Yes, absolutely. This heist is, even to this day, one of the best in the game. It has a lot of different ways it can be completed, some better than others, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. It rewards heisters who communicate and work together, but it's still absolutely doable solo. The Falcon is fantastic. Even if the mods are annoying to unlock, the sheer killing power of this weapon might just be worth it. Also, I usually don't talk about music because it's subjective, but I think Ode to Greed is brilliant, one of my favorites from Simon. Also, it reminds me of the Doctor Who intro. So there's that. All in all, if you're looking for a fun, challenging heist with a lot of replayability to enjoy with your friends, as well as a great weapon to boot, the Big Bank DLC is an excellent choice. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.